To know, can their band do an acoustic set?
Yeah, I mean, this is more dependent on the band. Do make sure you ask your agent when you're inquiring, if there is a specific band that you are interested in. Make sure to ask the question because quite often, depending on the style, they will be able to offer, even if it's just a 45-minute set in the afternoon acoustic. Depends on the lineup. Sometimes it'll just be the singer and acoustic guitarist. Sometimes it can be the full band. It all depends on the configuration for that particular act.
So this is the kind of thing that you'd be looking at for earlier on in the day, usually during like a drinks reception or something like that?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something that is worth considering. If you've got a band booked, sometimes it can work out as a more cost-effective option to have that band for the whole day and sort of get the most out of them in terms of the performance.
Mm-hmm.
So if it is something, if you really love a band, if there's something about that band that just, really makes you want to go for them, having them a bit longer to have that acoustic performance can be a really good option to look into. So
sure.
definitely,
and I guess it's loads cheaper as well then, right?
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
paid up for the band as well.
It's definitely easier than getting, another act, on top of a band you've already booked. Sometimes you can then, if you're looking to book other entertainment, the cost can increase if you do it that way. So having a band to cover the whole music for the day, it creates a bit of a cohesive sort of sound for your entertainment.
Is it like there's that familiarity?
Yeah.
That's an interesting word. Familiar something. And it makes you familiar with them because if you've seen them earlier on in the day and then they kind of rock up again later on, but they might be dressed a little bit differently or they're ready to rock out. You kind of just remember that earlier on and it doesn't seem like an alien thing when it comes to the end of the evening.
Yeah, and especially because, for sort of couples, there's plenty of things that they've got to worry about in terms of organisation. You've got caterers, you've got all the wedding party. If you've got one contact for your whole entertainment, be it sort of one person in the band, if you are going to go through, have them in the evening, they'll go through all the song choices. And then if you've got the same person that you can speak to and say, in the afternoon, can you do, X, Y, and Z song?
It's one less plate to spin on what is already a busy bunch of plates that you're probably spinning when you're organising something. Cool. And I guess it goes without saying, but a lot of the bands that we have, the musicians are like insanely talented and usually like multi-instrumentalists.
Definitely.
So just because you've got a really heavy maybe like rock band or a Motown band, it doesn't mean they can't mellow it down for the day and play something a little bit different. Yeah, definitely. And that's another important thing, as like we were saying before, with the lineup of the band. I mean, every band is going to be sort of slightly different in terms of the acoustic, service that they can potentially offer. Some bands can offer an acoustic performance as, the whole group. Others, it might just be, one or two members. But that is quite nice then, because it does break up the musical entertainment for you. Sure.
So, just having a solo acoustic guitarist, if it's just the sort of the singer and a guitarist, it's going to sound a bit different to the band in the evening then. So it's not something to worry too much about, because they will definitely break up the music for you and make sure that it's not going to be sort of conflicting sort of on the day, music wise at least.
Cool. Okay, so they'll try and split up the set as well and not play the same songs twice and things like that. I suppose that's something that you might have less control over if you book two acts, because your acts during the day might not know the set list of the guys at the end.
Yeah, because I mean, although we do have loads and loads of acts, they're not necessarily affiliated with each other. So, you could book two acts, but they might not necessarily, know each other personally, and they might not necessarily have that conversation beforehand. Obviously you guys can have the conversation with your acts that you booked, but in terms of getting acts to communicate together, often the most efficient way to do it would be have one person do it all, because that there's not going to be any sort of conflicting song choices and that kind of thing.
Cool, awesome.